Say a youth softball coach also had inappropriate contact with a female player, and there may be more victims. Sherman Chow is in Pearland, where more people who say they are victims have come forward. Sherman?
In the past week, another 5 girls have come forward. Pearland police telling us the coach would rent batting cages and give instruction there, that he's had students in Harris, Fort Bend, Galveston, and Brazoria counties for years. 59-year-old Carlos Rogelio Morgan has been a girls' softball hitting coach for decades locally. Investigators are concerned there could be many more victims. His February 13th arrest has been the talk of local Facebook pages and the town. In fact, back in August, another family complained against Morgan, and the same Pearland investigators worked that case, but a grand jury declined to return indecency with a child charges.
Children from the age of 9 all the way up to 17. And again, this goes back to the early 2000s, so potentially hundreds of young juveniles.
So far, Morgan is charged in just one case. The assault allegedly happened before and during batting lessons.
Touching, usually on the outside of clothing, is similar to an indecent assault.
So touching typically outside your clothes, but a sexual kind of touching.
Bingo. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it normally carries more weight than that Class C assaulted.
Right now, Morgan faces a Class A misdemeanor assault, and authorities are asking anyone with additional information or who may also have been a victim to please come forward. In Pearland, Sherman Chow, KHOU 11 News.
We have to stress, if you are a victim, do not be afraid to speak up. And it's also important to talk to your kids about sexual abuse, especially in light of the cases involving teachers this week.